Okay, colour check on this olive glow. I'm on Artistic Nightscape, 3 notches down in darkness. As I said, colour check on the that, which is one of those plants. I think with my serpentine book, you know, there's various members of them around the globe, and in various serpentine countries they do make. I think we are. Sorry, it's just the card ran out. I had to wipe a few clips, so I think we are right on the cusp. There was a little bit of vegetation patch in there on Google Maps. Yeah, I think this is the beginning of the ONSKII-Cutting. Yeah, there we go, fellas. So maybe I should just walk instead of... got a bit of rock seepage. Yeah. Wow, you never know, you might have a bit of banana, you know, you never know, or the odd pig. The lichen people. Oh, yeah, leaning in there, fellas. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good there, fellas. Yeah, because it's got all this sort of mottling pattern, and it looks even better when it's wet, like it was the other day. But yeah. So Chuck L. Powell II, bing, bing, bing. I know, I was in my early teenage years or something, and I sent some of my tubers over to him. I think, I don't know, it was like 6 or something like that, I think, or something. I sent them in different coloured, you know, what's that sort of scrunchy paper? Crepe paper, that's it. Over here. Apparently, this is the story that evolved out of what happened. Because there's such a weed here, you know, it's like the weed of the southern clay states, South Australia and Victoria, you know, there's just hundreds of millions of Whitakerite sort of thing. And of course, now we know there are different forms around, and different subspecies, maybe even species of, they're basically just distant members of the Stolonifera complex, probably from Western Australia. So, you know, you've had members of the Stolonifera complex come across the southern land bridge, and you've also had things like probably bulbosa and modulata, which have probably turned out to be profolia and yeah, a few other things sort of thing. And apparently, because everyone thought it was such a weed here, they just made the assumption that everyone overseas would have this in their collection or something. Anyway, long story short, he actually had a barbecue at his place. People came round and were aghast. That looks pretty good, fellas. People were aghast. They came round and saw this thing and thought, oh, it's such an unusual sundew. Now, this is our common weed species. Maybe it's the way he was growing it. It did its trick of holding the leaves up at 35 degrees, or it would raise them after it got flooded or something. And so it does more than just the average sundew sort of thing. And of course, it can get so big, you know, it can get hand size. And that's not even under, that's only natural bushfire fertilisation, you know. Anyway, I think he had like 11 or so people come around for a barbecue on a weekend just to look at this plant. You know, these Drossel Whitakerite, and they were just so impressed and so amazed. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's like that with the, you know, Bob McMorris, you know. He sent us the real deal, you know, the I can't remember if it was Communis or the other thing. Whatever it was, it's the one I really like. It has a particular look to it, and I think it was Communis. It wasn't a smath, and it was the real deal, and it was just, I think I must have had the same feeling as these people over at Chuck L. Powell's place, thinking, looking at something like this, but on a nice pot with a nice hand-sized sort of plant sort of thing, and they were just looking at it thinking, that is just so different. Whereas here, to us, they're like bloody weeds, They sort of, they're just, thousands here, thousands there down the road, and yet now people are even amazed that that you've got the different colours and stuff, and they're all much of a muchness, and also there's a lot of variation at the same time. So and you've got things like this, and look at the colour on that, and against the colour of the soil, just amazing. And then I'm saying to people, well, if you like this, WA is, well, it's at least 4 times as good straight away, and probably gets up to 10 times better than this in certain areas, sort of thing. And you just won't have enough days, enough hours, enough years in a lifetime to enjoy it all. And so that's why I implore people, with their mobile phones and all the modern technology that's the price is going through the floor sort of thing, hopefully we're going to get back onto the track of going back to the putting something substantial on the moon and then onto Mars and further out. We're actually going to get back on track, back onto plan, as we were told back in that's what we were going to do, when we were in my primary school. That was the idea when we all grew up. Books were going to be plentiful, they were going to be packed full of colour photographs, and they'll be cheap, and the only thing that's come through is these days anyone can write a book. You could pack them with colour photos, but now they say, it's too expensive to pack them with colour. I'm thinking, well, what's gone, someone's being ripped off, and I reckon it's the authors, actually, and also I think it's the future members of the public from the future, because you're going to look back in books and they're saying, well, where are the photographs, how did this here look, 10, 25, 50, 100 years ago? Had you put those colour photographs in the book? How long a book can last, okay, maybe the photographs will fade slightly, but with the modern inks and modern covalently bonded inks, they should be pretty good, They're not these inks based on dye, substable dyes and things like that. They're the new modern ones now, and they can be colour matched like I'm doing with my camera. People have actually spent their lives colour matching and making sure that if they fade to a certain colour, or they don't fade at all. And we've got some more leakage here, and I've gone to 7 minutes, and I think this is my sub-rant for today. I think it's really getting into our, basically it's the libtards, You got all this smegging money to buy all these toys, and yet you don't actually use them. And thinking, you talk about proactivity, but you aren't proactive, I'm making as best use as I can in my subject area with the camera I've got at the moment, Someone with a much better camera, what are they doing? Are they putting all this stuff under the camera lens and putting it up online? Or they got some sort of greedy, image bank, every image has a dollar sign in front of it, and thinking that they're going to live forever. And when they get to around 60 or 70, they're probably too old or too lethargic or too disabled to actually go out and do it then. So you might as well bloody well do it now. And because you never know what's going to please someone else on the other side of the GFC wall. I think really that's basically what it all comes down to, is we haven't done right by the GFC, really. We should be putting those people, everyone's complaining about not having enough money and all that sort of thing. I'm saying, well, we know who's got the money. What you should have done is give them as the old rant from the other day, we should have done a deal, give us half your money now, and we'll look at you in a favourable light, We can spread that 50% of your, vast fortune around to all the people who are doing it tough. We'll take the Iceland option. Or you can go, okay, you were very smart and witty about how you gained your money, but look what a mess you've made as a collective whole, And we can spread this money and even things out, you know, make a level playing field, which everyone talks about. But I don't think the 1% actually contemplate a level playing field. I don't think they actually want a level playing field. No, I think one of our Four Corners reports sort of made out is they live in a totally, they have so much money, wealth and influence that they're a bit like a black hole. They've basically cut themselves off from reality, from our world sort of thing. They live in a totally separate world, you know. They go to holiday places we don't even know about. You know, it's all secret squirrel sort of stuff. And we're going to probably find that with the Panama Papers over the next 3, 5, maybe even 10 years, I don't know how long it's going to take them. You know, the shit, the so-called proverbial shit, is really going to hit the fan, and we might end up with a let them eat cake sort of situation where the people say, "Hang on, this is just gone too out of whack," you know. And there'll be like a supernova explosion when the black hole blows up, and you know, all that energy. You know, when a black hole blows up, we get all that energy out. It's basically all that wealth comes pouring out of the black hole, or the black holes in plural, back out to people, and it will just be obscene. I think we'll find out just how much wealth has been squirreled away at the expense of you and our children. And you know, just think of all the things your children could have had if some of this wealth wasn't squirreled away, you know. It was actually spread around. And there's a few yeah, someone, oh yes. Now, if you want to say, what was the thing from last night that really got to me? I think it was what Bill Shorten said on the bus last night. I thought, yep, he's the Prime Minister of Australia. He said, what did he say? Life's good. What did he say? It was life. I've forgotten what the quote was, but it was a fantastic quote. Yeah, I was probably thought about, you know, it's probably. But I thought, yeah, he's Prime Minister. Once he said that, I thought, yep, he's our Prime Minister. He's, you know, with the land of the fair go, and it was like, life's good, but it would be so much better if everyone got a fair share of. Yeah, that's it. Life's good, but it would be so much better if everyone got a fair share of it. Of life, or something like that. I forget the exact wording, but you might want to go and look it up. But I thought, as soon as he said it, I thought, yeah, that's it. He's won the election. You know, it's like when Abraham Lincoln said, "The house divided cannot stand," and suddenly people realised, yep, he's president of the United States. You know, he'd made such a statement that cut right through, and everyone sort of, whoa, that is a statement. And it's sort of like. It showed the wisdom forged of years of personal hardship and experience and insight, and everyone went, whoa, a house divided cannot stand. And everyone realised at that moment that he was the President of the United States, or the President, he was going to become the President of the United States. He was the most wise person in the nation at the time. I thought, well, if anyone's going to be able to deal with our problems, it's going to be that person who made that statement, sort of thing, and very politically savvy. And I thought last night it's a bit like that with Bill Shorten. He made this statement. Yeah, life's good, but it'd be so much better if everyone had a fair share of it. Something to that effect. But the way he said it, oh, it was probably staged and everything like that. I know I'd be very cynical if it wasn't. You know, but immediately he said that, I thought, yeah, you know, he's the one who can probably look after the country for a while anyway, until someone better comes along, you know. I know he does seem to look like he's having some personal problems and personal crisis, but for him to come out with a statement like that, I thought, well, you know, it's better to take a chance with him than someone less wise and someone more greedy. Someone who's never really had to work for a living. Never had to do it tough, you know, sort of thing. Really had a silver spoon in their mouth, sort of thing, you know. Anyway, I think that's my rant for today. At 15 minutes, I think I better start a new clip. Okay, over and out, with 29 seconds left on the card. Okay, see ya. I think car's up there somewhere.